Howdy, howdy, howdy. Bob is back. And here I was this afternoon doing a video, talking crap, saying I didn't have an interview set up for tonight. And lo and behold, I set up this interview a few weeks ago. And being me, I forgot about it. So now I feel bad because I actually forgot about an interview. What kind of host forgets his interview? But anyways, we salvaged it. Thankfully, they got a hold of me. So tonight we're going to be talking about the Perth, what's it called again? The Perth Banner Parade, and it's to help support Homes for Heroes. So it's a big thing. It's been going on for a long time. So I've got Julie here and I've got Travis here, and they're going to tell us all about it because, as you can tell, I know nothing. So here we go. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks again so much for having us.
Hey, it's my pleasure. So this is the whole meat and potatoes of what I'm trying to do with this channel is to get the public to understand that people that ride motorcycles, like the vast majority of them, are doing stuff for the community, whether it's for veterans or animal shelters or kids or whatever it's for. Most bikers are doing that. So I'm trying to flip the narrative on bikers. So you guys are a perfect example of that, helping out vets, getting them off the street, getting them some self-esteem and getting them back in where they want to be. So you want to tell me how long you've been doing the motorcycle parade and the banner? Explain the whole thing because I don't really understand it.
Okay, so we do have a fabulous website also, which we can possibly post the link to for everyone. But basically, the way the banner program works is that there are probably almost 390 banners that go up in our downtown core, and they go up at the end of September. And they are honoring veterans that are either past or still with us. And those banners are up until after Remembrance Day. As part of that program also, there is a golf tournament that happens on the 19th of September. Then there is also the Lanterns and Lasagna Dinner, which happens on Friday, September the 26th. And then the one that we're most excited about, which is the Perth Motorcycle Parade, which happens on September the 27th. All of these things then put together all of their funds that they have raised, and we donate those funds to a different charity each year to do with veterans. And this year, it is Homes for Heroes in Kingston again. So what's wonderful about this is that all of these people come and ride their bikes on the motorcycle parade. We have about 500 bikes that come.
Nice.
And we visit all of the seniors' homes in our town, whereby there are seniors and also veterans get all in their uniforms and stand outside and watch the parade go by.
Oh,
and
they
then
must like that, eh?
Yeah, pretty cool. And then we end up at the Legion and we have a little bit of a social. And it's just a really amazing day. And we wanted to just kind of let people know more about the program. And it has got spin-offs now into different towns of people that are following suit of what we're doing.
Well, that's really cool. So you've inspired other towns to follow in your footsteps.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's really cool. And now the lanterns, are they like lanterns? Like,
no, so they're banners. So they're like a vinyl banner. They're probably about 1.5 feet long by 1 foot wide, and they're two-sided, and they go on all our light posts throughout our town.
I thought I saw a photo of them on and it's kind of an oldie style lamp.
Yeah. So it's really, really beautiful and very, very touching.
So how did this get started?
Right. Well, my friend Sue Doran started this program in 2019. And she started with very few banners, and then it escalated from there. And she is amazing. She does so much behind the scenes. She's not an interview person, which is why Sue is not here. So I am here for her.
Okay.
And you know, we've sort of created a committee that has part in different aspects. So there's a committee for the golf tournament, a committee for the dinner, a committee for the ride, and
Sure.
there's just some amazing people involved that make this all tick and work. It's
And
really just fantastic.
you wouldn't want to take on that much, only one person, that's for sure.
No,
Now,
exactly. Yeah, it's
now
a real team effort.
didn't that what they call it this year? They switched it from highways to heroes to honor roll. Is that right? And it rode from Trenton to Oshawa this summer. I think it does. Did they also help the Homes for Heroes program? I thought they did
Yes, they
because
did. Yes,
we
they did.
spoke about it. I had those guys on for an interview also.
Yeah, it was a wonderful ride. It was a great day. You know what? I can't remember how many bikers were there, but it was a good number. There were no issues. There was no accidents. We had lots of people on the overpasses. We ended up in Oshawa at the Tank Museum for a nice little festival where there was some music. There was a band and some vendors. It was quite wonderful. It was very special. It was an honor to be there and part of that community.
That's really cool. That seeing that, like you say, I keep hammering it in people's heads. This is where most bikers' mindsets are. Is you know what interests me, because a lot of bikers are veterans anyway. Even if it's from recent wars, they're still veterans, right? And you guys must be getting a fair amount of support for the tiny home program, then, yeah?
We are. You know, we've been open now in Kingston. Our Kingston Village has been open for about a year and a half now. And we've had 27 villagers come and stay with us. We have 20 units. We've had 27 so far. So we've had some graduates, which is really great. I think we've had about 9 graduates now that have been able to find sustainable housing and receiving whatever helps they may need, whether it's financial or mental health or just even some community supports. So it's really coming along quite well.
That must be a good feeling when they can say, okay, you can give this spot to the next guy. I'm ready.
Yeah, it is. Our program is we try to shoot for everyone to stay with us for about a year. They can certainly leave before that, of course, if they're ready. But right around that 10 or 11th month mark, we really start looking to see, you know, where are we at and how much have they traveled along their healing journey. And are they ready to launch? And have we built a strong enough and a secure enough foundation where they can launch from? And so that's when we really start looking around, you know, what community do they want to go to? So, you know, we have 3 villages right now. We have one in Calgary, which was our first one. It opened about 5.5 years ago. And we have one in Edmonton, which opened about 3 years ago. And then now Kingston has been open for a year and a half. And we have Winnipeg and London being built currently right now to schedule to be open next summer. So
that's
we're getting there.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So back to Perth, because I'm going to come at you like I don't know nothing, because I kind of don't know 100%. Where is Perth? You're Northern Ontario, or like not northern up by the Sioux, but northern like Bayfield and Goderich, northern.
No, so we're sort of think of us between Kingston and Ottawa.
Oh, for God's sakes, I was nowhere near.
Yeah, that's what I would put you as a pin in the map there. And it's a beautiful drive. Of course, we have the Lanark Highlands that you can ride up either the day before or the morning of before the parade happens. There's also some fabulous restaurants that offer really great breakfast. So if you're coming up the morning and you just want to grab a bite to eat before we head out, we meet up behind the mall in Perth, which is right on Highway 7.
Okay.
And everybody kind of gathers there around 1 o'clock, and then we do kickstands up at 2 o'clock, and we do the parade, and then we have a few hours that we kind of get together at the Legion after.
So you're all the way up there. So are you past the Kawarthas and stuff, or kind of or more east of the Kawarthas?
I think we'd be a little bit more east.
More east. So
Yeah.
Past Belleville, past Tweed, past all them places.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
I get you.
Yeah.
Hey, I take a quick stop for the comments because Bruce Inch gave you guys a really nice comment. It's people like yourself that make the motorcycle community even stronger. May God bless you both for all you do. Thanks for that, Bruce.
Thank you.
Very nice. Thank you.
Yeah, that is very nice. And of course, then we got Hardwire saying hello, Hardwire brother. Always a pleasure to see you. He's another one of my YouTube friends. He does a show every Sunday, hitting it with Hardwire, and Serious and Silliness Outcast with John Livia. I've been on his for an interview one time, and he does some biker news, crime stories, and stuff like that. So good to thanks for coming along, John. You always pleasure. And we got Jeremy Jones, and he's telling me where Perth is. Thank you, John. Jeremy. I can't believe I was like a million miles away. I don't know why I thought it was up by Bruce County for some reason. I'm starting with Chax. Thanks for coming in, Chax. And okay, so how long is the route for the bike thing? Did you guys do a set route?
Yeah, so I'd say it's probably a total of around 10 to 11 kilometers. It's not a huge route,
Oh, it's not long. You're not going like
but
for
it,
hours.
but no, but it's timely because we visit the homes. So it's a very slow route. Like I say, it's a parade of the motorcycles, visiting the seniors' homes, passing through our town, waving to the people that come out and watch the parade. And along the way, we're going to have some interesting things happening this year. We've got the Rideau Canal Cloggers are going to be putting on a bit of a demonstration right before the parade leaves the mall. And we're also going to be having Circawa is coming to do an Indigenous drumming circle also beforehand. So while you're riding or just before the bikes come, these events will be taking part. You can stop and then watch the rest of the parade, and then you can either go home or you can come over and hang out with us at the Legion as well and get to know a little bit more. And at the Legion, there'll be some vendors and music. The Legion puts on hot dogs and drinks for everybody. So that's really nice as well to thank them for coming out for the day. And of course, you can visit the beautiful museum there at the Legion as well. It'll be open for people to see too.
Oh, that's cool. So
Yeah.
it's more or less for the town, for the folks in the town then, yeah?
I think it's more
Kind
for
of a
the
parade.
bikers, actually,
Yeah.
Bob. Yeah, it really is because once you sort of get on the bike and you're following this amazing crew of hundreds of bikes, and you pull into these homes and you see these seniors, and they're all waving and they're all loving that we're out there. And every year they look forward to it. As soon as it gets to September, they're
I love
excited to see us.
I
And
love
we feel a sense of pride when we're riding through this pathway of heroes, literally with all these banners lined down either side of the street. It's very humbling and very emotional. We have a veteran that's going to be given a quilt of valor this year, who's
Oh, I
turning
saw that.
100. Yeah,
Wow.
he's turning 100, and he's going to get his quilt of valor. So that's
Good
another
on 'em.
special thing that's going to happen. And yeah, so I think it's yes, it's for the town for sure, but the banners themselves are really just touching. And I think the bikers come every year. A lot of people, I hear them say this is their favorite ride. They just it's so emotional
Yeah,
to
yeah.
see it. Yeah,
Now Corey in the comments said some of the best riding in the province is in the Highlands. You won't be disappointed.
absolutely.
So the ride
Yeah,
in and the ride out, you're gonna enjoy it, right?
exactly. Yeah,
So
exactly.
and I saw some of those banners. Now, naturally, when everybody thinks about veterans, we all think about World War II veterans
Mhm.
and older individuals. But like I say, even if you came back from something in the Middle East, you're still a veteran. And I
Yeah,
saw some of those banners had young men's faces on them.
they do. Yeah, there are a mix of anybody who's we try to keep it somewhat local, or at least some of their family have been local to the Perth area.
Mhm.
Um, and it's really neat because when the banners go up, all of the family get together, they get pictures with the banner, they stand beside the banner the day of the parade. Like it's just a really moving whole
Oh,
experience.
I really like that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
And all that stuff. See, that's the other thing. I think the people in the chat know, and I hope people who watch this, even if you watch the recorded version, got to understand all these things get put together by people from the goodness of their hearts. It's not for a paycheck, that's for sure. It's for because they want to do it and it means something to do it. and that I always condemned you guys on. Thank you very much for all that stuff. Now, are they calling them tiny homes that they're putting them into, Travis, or what are we calling them?
Yes. So it's interesting that you bring up the ages and of our veterans and stuff. And I can tell you at our Kingston Village, we've had as young as 21 and as old as 77. So the age gap is massive. Our veterans are of all ages, and it's good to always keep that in mind, because as you said, a lot of times we think of our veterans are only on Remembrance Day, and it's our older fellas that have their medals and on their patches and all that stuff on, and it's that's just a small group of them, right? So it's good to always keep that in mind. And in Kingston, Calgary, and Edmonton, yes. So we're small villages of tiny homes. So they're about 300 square feet. In them, they are fully stocked. They've got an apartment-sized fridge. They've got a range, microwave, coffee maker, toaster, all the pots and pans, all the cooking utensils, all the cutlery, forks, and spoons, bowls, plates. They're ready to go. So, if you do know someone and that you're afraid they might not have anything, we look after that. It's all ready to go. All the bedding's there, all the towels. We set them up with some donations that we get with hygiene kits, and we do get some quilts that are donated. So those are ready to go. So it's pretty much walked in and ready to go. We usually have some food donations that are in our main kitchen. So we do have a large kitchen where they can come do cooking together as a group or a community, or if they have guests. That's usually where they would like to have their guests, because, like I said, the units are only about 300 square feet, and that's a bathroom, their bedroom, and the kitchenette and living room all kind of in one 300 square foot area. Lots of room for one person, not so much a lot of room when you get 2 or 3 people moving around in there. So we do have the larger kitchen. Like
your bachelor apartment back in the day.
It's exactly what it is. And, it's great when we do get the help from other communities and from people in the community. It's how I have food always ready to go for someone that first comes in. And, we work on budgeting, we work on shopping skills if that's needed. And we even do some cooking classes if that's needed, so that we can really see, where someone might be struggling, or maybe they haven't had to cook before because they always lived in the shacks and just went and ate at the mess, right?
Yeah.
Or budgeting, they've always been on tour, come home, and their spouse looks after all the bills, right? Here's the paycheck. So they really have no idea, like with the cost rising of groceries, just how to kind of forecast for that stuff. So we work on a lot of aspects of things. Those are just a few that we do touch on. And, I have to say before I forget, I do have to send out a special thanks to the community of Perth. Last Christmas, we were overwhelmed with the village of Perth and what they sent our village to make sure and ensure that our veterans at our village had a Merry Christmas, and they certainly did. So I want to make sure we get that special shout out again. So thank you guys so much.
That is phenomenal. Now, how do people who live in Perth, if they want to help you, how do they get involved?
Honestly, you can drop off donations. You can give us a call. If you'd like to make a monetary donation, you can go on our website at h4hf.ca, and you can make donations there. It's better to do it that way. You'll get a tax receipt right away if that's what you're in for. But you can also streamline of what you want your donation to go to. So if you want to go to a particular village in say you wanted to go to Calgary because that's where you had a lot of your time spent in the military, you're a veteran, you remember having those fond memories back in Calgary, you can make sure it goes to that village, or the Kingston or Edmonton, or even the upcoming London or Winnipeg villages, or you can just send it out as a blanket just to the organization itself. Or if you want the funds, if you visited our village and you say, I think they could really use whatever, a barbecue or something along those lines. You say these funds are for that item for this village, so that you can really streamline it down to whatever you'd like.
That's cool. It's really cool. Yeah. And how did you end up getting involved?
That's sometimes I have to wonder that myself, to be quite honest with you. I'm a veteran, and I got out of the military and went into corrections and spent a little over 26 years in corrections and retired from there. Saw this village being built in Kingston and thought, I wouldn't mind being part of that. So I just started making some phone calls, and they had an opening for the Veterans Service Manager, and I was fortunate enough and blessed enough to get that role.
How did you get involved, Julia?
Well, actually, I was at the first ride in 2019, and I met with Sue Doran again, and we just sort of hit it off. And from there on, we just she just kind of said, "Hey, I think you should take over the organization of the parade, being that you know so many people in the community, and you ride a bike yourself. So let's work on it and see how we can do." And we went from about 90 bikes, and now, like I say, we're up to about 500. And we're just hoping for a bunch more this year. So that's why we're here, is to get some more people to come out to it. We have
stuff like this is done by a riding club or a veterans club or something, but you guys just kind of you found the correct people and made a committee.
exactly. So just throughout the years of meeting different people, so I've got to say that Commandos Canada, the Twin Rivers
Yeah.
chapter, have been just absolutely amazing at helping us connect and helping with the whole process of set up, tear down, being there to lead the parade, getting the community to know about what's happening. Another Sue Milner and Al, and her husband Al of Footsteps of Canadian Heroes are fantastic. They never miss it. They're there. They tail the parade at the end with their beautiful commemorative trailer.
Oh,
Yeah, and our Perth Fire Department has a beautiful fire truck that is done up all with Lest Forget, beautiful vinyl overcase on it, and they also come in the parade, and they also visit a lot of the seniors in the neighborhood on their birthdays and bring the truck along to the veterans and say hello as well. And
that's
of course,
pretty cool.
yeah, and a thank you to the Perth Legion, because they host it. They're really great. We come in at the end of it all, and we're all thirsty and hungry, and they really handle it very well. And so it's all just amazing. That there's some vendors. We're going to have a veteran Don Rideout is going to be there at the Legion. He makes these beautiful wood carvings that are all veteran related. Canna Connect is going to be there. The Canadian Veteran Dog Service Unit. They were who we raised the funds for. They're going to be there. We raised the funds for them last year.
Yeah.
There's going to be Emily from What's Your 20. She does a podcast on PTSD. She's absolutely amazing. My friend Barb will have Your Charmed Life. She does permanent jewelry. And then Echelon Wellness will be on site as well. And Commandos Twin Rivers is going to be selling their shirts as well. So lots going on at the Legion as well.
Very cool. Now I've been fortunate enough. I think his name was Jeremy from the Commandos. I can't remember what chapter he was from. Yeah, very actually, he was a great interview, because he just kind of took over and just told me everything, and I didn't have to ask very many questions. It was like he already knew what I was going to ask him in advance. It worked out well. Yeah, but and that's you guys want me to pop I think this is your Facebook on the screen for a bit. I'll get rid of
that's perfect.
Comment.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
And there's an event page on there, on that page within there, that has the event that will tell more details about what happens the day of, and of course, who we're raising funds for, who's going to be at the event. And of course, we do have a call out now as well. If anyone is interested, we are looking for some volunteers to help us on the day of the event for the parade part. Of course, with the growing number of bikes, we have to have some help with the getting the process of in the crossways and where there's no lights to direct traffic, to have some people there to stop traffic so the bikes can get through safely. So that's what we're looking for, is some people to help us do the street crossings.
You need some blockers.
Yeah, we need a few of those.
And this is
the website. So this is amazing. Yeah, we.
So they tell you all. They tell you everything that's going on. I got a cup of tea in the way of that screen.
Yeah, so everything on there, and it'll be updated again as things change and get updated closer to the time too. But as you can see, that picture does say it all. Somebody out there saying thanks so much for riding, and The bike riders saying it back. Yeah, thanks for being out supporting us. So come out and line the streets and watch the parade and
Fire
hang
truck
out at the Legion later. Yeah.
What's what do you figure? It's like a 5,000 people town or something like that, or more like a
I think
30,000?
it's just no, it's about 6,000 actually. Yeah, the town of Perth.
Kind
But
of like
the bikes come from everywhere. We have bikes that come from as far as the East Coast that come to
wow.
this ride every year. London, Ontario, there's bikes from all over, not just local. So it's a pretty great attendance, and it's a very great feeling. The parade. There's the banner. It's just beautiful.
These
Yeah,
are the banners that go up.
those are the banners that go up hang on the streets. Yeah.
Oh, they're awesome.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, and that's all Sue Doran. So she's quite the lady.
Wow. And I take you got somebody to contribute these and all that. Yes.
She has someone she gets them all printed at, and of course, as you can see, the Legion, the Town of Perth, and the VIA do help us out as well in installing and hosting and getting the word out about the event as well.
Does there just happen to be a lot of vets in Perth? There's a blanket.
I believe, yeah, there's the Cult of Valor. Yeah. And there's a fair number for sure. I don't know that it's a retirement town per se for veterans. I think probably Kingston or other areas have more,
Sure.
but
Sure. Yeah.
yeah,
There's always been lots of vets in the Kingston area, isn't there?
yeah, yeah.
I remember I did an event. I used to have a mobile food trailer thing. Well, I let the chat go, and oh no, I didn't. I took it off. And Jeremy Jones, what was he saying? That's me on the dog.
No,
It's Jeremy. That's who we were talking about from the commando.
yeah, yeah. That's Jeremy from the Commandos. Yeah,
Thanks for joining us, Jeremy. Thank you, bro.
yeah,
Because that
yeah.
was the other thing I was gonna throw in there. But anyways, so the dog. I remember people raising money for the dogs for veterans. I think
Yeah.
that's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, they're so important. They really do have such an effect on veterans, at least that I've seen. I think it's a really important program. It helps out the dogs as well as the humans, right?
That's
So
what I
it's
was
a
going to
win-win.
say. If you can hook them up with a dog that's in that needs a house and a
Yeah,
veteran that needs a dog, then like you say, it's worked out beautifully. I'm a dog guy, right? I would do
yeah.
anything but euthanize a dog. It's just not the way to go. But yeah, that's awesome. Is there another group that's raising money for that? No, there's a group that's raising money for like a training, like like a dog that helps you if you're in trouble.
Yep.
What do you call it? A service dog. A service
Service
dog.
dog. Yeah,
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 but
yeah.
this
Well,
is
we'll
go ahead.
we
So
uh, we we did that last year. Like I say, it was the Canadian service dogs unit that we donated our funds to last year, and I think the year before it was Homes for Heroes again. And we decided to do Homes for Heroes again because it's just a very important program to me. And again, it was really great to hear Travis say that you've had some people go through there. It hasn't, that to me is just so exciting, and I'm so happy for you. It must be so rewarding.
It
yeah,
is, you get to see a lot of growth in people, and we tell our villagers as much as you put into the program is as much you're going to get out. And people always ask, like, what's your program? Well, we don't have like a set playbook. Our program is tailored to each individual that comes in because they're all healing in different ways at different stages and from different things. So it's not a cookie cutter program. It's something that we sit with the veteran, and we really, we have some good days, we have some bad days, but overall, it's always all about the growth and about the healing and walking that journey and knowing you have someone to walk with, and that's going to maybe guide you out down some safer paths. And that's really what we focus on.
are you like right in there, boots on the ground?
Every day, Monday to Friday.
Good for you.
Sometimes weekends, sometimes evenings.
Sure. Well, you might want the weekend off, but their needs don't take a day off, do they?
No, they don't. And, they all have I have Katrina, who's our social worker in the village at the same time with me. So there's always two of us, and we're always available if we're needed.
Yeah, and obviously there's somebody on staff. So when they call something, and you hear a lot thrown around in the press, it must be a new catchphrase. When they say wraparound services, that would be what you're describing, right? You explain what that means, or is that not what you guys do?
So it is, but we're just a piece of that wraparound service. So a lot of things that we do in the village, we're also looking into communities for those supports as well. And we'll talk with the veteran, we'll get their consent, and so that we're able to talk to, let's just say hypothetically, a mental health service. So we'll get them hooked up with someone in the community, and we'll liaison with them so that when we're having our discussions and talks, we're working together and making those strides together versus maybe mixing signals or getting it wrong. Another example will be maybe a physiotherapist or doctor. Maybe someone's going through some cancer treatments that they're quite scared about, and they don't know what's going to happen. So we can have those type of talks too, and we can reassure them. We can start doing some research with them on some of the therapies that they're going to go through. So not only is it educating us, but it's educating them, and it's someone to go through it together.
Right.
So it kind of goes hand in hand. We talk about wraparound services. It's really just trying to see to all the needs the best we can, but working together and sharing that information. And the biggest person that we got to share with is that veteran, our villager. They've got to be part of it because that's where that growth is. And the more they share, the more we're able to get out into the community and get those specialized supports and really get them looked after as a holistic and make them whole.
Awesome. So yeah, that there's a lot of facets to, because like you say, you don't know what each individual's gonna be focused on. Now, this might seem like a weird question, but do you find a lot of these homeless vets have no families, or do you find that they remove themselves from their family because they don't feel like they used to?
It's a good solid blend. I'll be honest with you. We have some that have families. We have some that have children. We have some that have removed themselves. We have some that don't have any. And the stories are endless. When you take a step back and those that have served. When you think back and you're going through your basic, and the people you meet and the stories you hear from across Canada, and maybe the reasons why they joined. The stories are endless, and that carries over into our communities now because they're veterans with those same stories and those same difficulties in life or the same successes in life. Some have spent 25 30 years plus in the military, some 2-3 years maybe. They're still veterans. And it's quite interesting when you start getting those all these different stories and different personalities coming together. So it is quite interesting. So it's a great question. I just don't have an answer for it because it's such a big, broad blend.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Because obviously you're going to have a pretty big percentage of people with PTSD on different levels and with different effects, right? It affects some people differently. So I worked with a guy who is a veteran, and we all called him Captain Dan because, his name was Dan in the movie, right? Captain Dan. It all works out. And pretty, just worked along like everybody else. Pretty intense guy, though. But then he told me one story about something that happened out in the field, right? And just telling that story, a little tear came down his eye. I was like, geez, number one, I wonder why he told me that story. Because, we just worked together. It wasn't like we were best friends. And number two, like, I wonder why he told that story, period, if it still made him feel like that, right? But, everyone's got their own way that they got to get through things. I suppose is the bottom line to that. Because there's a big, I didn't realize there's so many vets out in Canada, right? Now, I suppose the best thing about having all these vets clubs and the fact that you guys are running this on one day is guys like Jeremy and the guys from his club come up and maybe those fellas that helped put the thing together in Trenton and their guys can come up, because one of those guys actually lives in London. That's where I'm from, right? That's where I'm sitting here right now. And him and I became friends on over Facebook as well. So, but he's the only guy I know from London, and he was supposed to get on the screen, and I didn't click him on the screen for that whole interview. He was sitting backstage, hidden in the bottom behind a toolbar, and I couldn't see him. You believe that? The whole interview. So both of his buddies were up there, and he was backstage watching us.
I'm glad you remembered to click us in.
Yes.
That's very nice of you to remember us.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I still consider myself new at this. Now it's a year and a bit in, and I feel like way more comfortable doing the interviews and stuff, and I'm so happy when it's another interview night, and because I get to meet someone new from the bike community and someone from a different facet of the motorcycle community. Because at the end of the day, like, just looking at it from the biker angle strictly, it's a very welcoming and friendly community. The biker. Well, you guys both ride, right?
I do not. Katrina does in our village. My social worker, she does. So she was on the honor roll. So that was quite awesome to have her participate and watch her do that. So no, and the biker community, like you said, is so tight and so welcoming. And I can tell you from our village, the commandos have really, really stepped up and welcomed us into that community and opened that door for us. And we can't thank them enough. Even just setting us up with the village of Perth. So it's amazing. It is so warming and welcoming. We really appreciate it and can't say thank you enough.
Yeah, it is.
That's awesome.
It does sound like the whole town gets behind the whole day, don't they?
They really do. They're just, again, we get excited almost right after the ride the year before. We're already ready to get excited about the next year and things that we want to add and change and do a little bit differently. And we take the feedback from everybody that comes and, ideas of what they can say as well. I think it's just a really, really fantastic program. And it's so great to see, because you see people every year, oh, we didn't see you since last year,
Yeah.
or we may see them at a different ride, like you might be at a different event and you see them and you say, hey, we'll see you in September, right? As you're going through the summer to all the different bike events that happen, you can bump into these people along the way and just do a little remind, oh yeah, no, we have it on the calendar already, don't worry, we'll be there. So it's really good to see that happen, as well as that we go and support those rides and they come out and support our rides. That's just the way the biker world works.
It does. It does. And that's why I say I've discovered that since I started doing this channel, and I got to interviews like Jeremy and the guys from the Iron Fist did the ride from Trenton, right? Mm-hmm. And that there's some more commandos out east, and I've met another club from out west, and Brad's in the chat, and Brad said hello. Brad, I did a little blurb about you in this afternoon's video, bro. So Brad's a cool fella. For people out west that ride, it's gonna sound morbid because unfortunately it is. He owns a motorcycle hearse company, and he takes the coffin from the church to the final resting place, and it's called perfectly called One Last Ride.
Love it.
It's a really, really good touch of respect for someone that that motorcycling was that much in their blood, right?
Yeah.
And most of us, that's how far motorcycling is in our blood. And Travis Corey Johnson says thanks, Travis.
No problem. Thank you.
Yeah. And Jeremy says that appreciate that veterans helping veterans. And War Boss, thank you for your kind words too. You said you're doing great bringing these stories and people to the broader community, Bob. I thank you for that. And that's my mission, man. That's what I want to do. I hope I never run out of people to interview. You know, we did Guardians of the Children last week, and I can't say enough good things about groups like that help kids that are in any sort of trouble from abuse.
Mhm.
You know, there's that, dogs and vets. You know what I mean? Those are sick kids too. But you know what I mean? Like there's such an array of different things, right? You can get behind.
Yeah, and usually any fundraiser, any charity thing that's happening, you're going to see some bikers there. They're always there to help in any way they can, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and if a kid who's about 12 or 13 is thinking, they might think about popping out a quick lemonade stand on the route.
They make a killing, that's for sure. Yeah.
Well, these kind of events are also good for the broader community, right? You're bringing in that many people into the community, hungry, thirsty, want to have a memento maybe or whatever, right?
Yeah. Well, again, a lot of people come up the night before, so a lot of our hotels and motels are full. That's one of the reasons why we're putting the dinner on the Friday night too, is just to do kind of a preempt. If people want to come, they can do a little bit more socializing on the Friday night beforehand. We're going to have the Military Wives Choir is going to be there singing. There's going to be a bagpiper. There's going to be some Highland dancers. Like it's just there's so much going on, and it's such a great event. The whole program from the golf tournament through to the parade, it really is. We're almost a little bit sad when we see the banners come down after Remembrance Day.
Now, do you store them for next year? Because they're
Yeah,
so getting done.
they all get washed before they go up, and they all get washed when they come down, and they all get packed away and ready to go back up again. Yeah.
Now, if is it kind of one of those things? If you want a banner of your loved one, can you like arrange it through you guys and get it? How does that work?
Yeah, it's all right on the website there. We're a little bit out of room for this year, but we're working on a whole new route, a whole new street for next year, hopefully. So we'll have some more room. And if we can't, and there's someone that's near to your area, we can probably recommend another town that's getting this off their just getting started in it, and we can send you their way as well.
And again, I think that is phenomenal that you've inspired other towns to do the same.
Yeah, most of them are just putting the banners up. They haven't really, gone into the rest of the proceedings that we have going on yet, but it's still beautiful. Like we try to do a fall colors ride where we visit the towns that have the banners out. So, nearby we'll make a route starting in Perth, ride through those banners, and then, Almont and Smith Falls has started doing it as well. So it just makes a nice little later in the fall once all the banners are up to go see.
That is a fabulous idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all those towns are such pretty little towns, eh?
Absolutely. Yeah. They're historic stone buildings, just, yeah. That European vibe, I guess. Yeah.
Have you seen the Smith Falls on their monthly bike night?
Yeah, we've been to everyone. It's been amazing.
Isn't that phenomenal? How many motorcycles? Do they shut
Yeah.
down the main street? Because they seem to be parked in the street.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there was over 3,000 bikes the last one they had.
That is phenomenal.
Not bad for only 3 nights in. So I think they're only going to grow bigger and bigger.
Yeah, I wonder how the word for that got around so fast. That I just can't believe the turnout.
That's bikers for you.
Yeah. And then is that to raise money for anything, or that's just to do it?
Nope. Basically, it's to help support their downtown a little bit, to bring people into the downtown, see what Smith Falls has, see how beautiful it is, and that they're still there and they're still on the map. They've got great restaurants. They have a great night because their patios are packed. The storefronts are getting people in to see what they have. So, and it's great nights just to hang out with fellow bikers, check out some of the vendors. And just have a few hours of fun. I think their last one is September the 3rd, I believe.
And again, it's just
Either the 3rd or the 6th.
I used to have a friend who, from his front door, you could see the Hershey factory.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's how long ago I knew the guy. It was when it was still Hershey. It's had a couple
Yeah.
different changes since then. Are they still using
Yeah.
it? Are they still using it for canopy or no?
No, it was a water, I think a water bottle manufacturing plant after that. And I'm not sure what's happening now. There's been rumors that Hershey is coming back, but I don't think anything's been solidified on that.
Yeah. And other than that, I've
Yeah.
just ever driven through the town. I don't know anything more about it than that, except for those two
Yeah.
things. Now
Yeah.
those homes, I they gotta cost like a fair bit for each unit, eh? How much fundraising are you guys gonna? You got something to keep the fundraising going all through the year?
Yeah, we do. We get a lot of local support. Like I said, Perth really stepped up at Christmas time. We do apply for government grants, whether we get them or not. That's a whole nother story. We are a nonprofit organization, so we do a lot of canvassing. To get a village off the ground is a lot, and I can tell you, Kingston was quite. Was quite expensive. The location we got is a beautiful location in Kingston. We were very fortunate that the city, the province, and the federal government all stepped up, and we actually got a nice chunk of one of the big parks here in Kingston. So we're very fortunate. We have Providence Care that's just down the hospital that's just down the street from us. We have St. Lawrence College, which is kitty corner to us. We've got a senior center which is less than 2 blocks away. It's in a beautiful location, and that's all from the city and the province being able to free up that land for us. We get a lot of, like so, we get a lot of charities and donations, such as this one, that really help us out. So we have food banks that help us out, and just the local people. Honestly, once we started gaining traction and people understood that we're a program first, then housing second, and what our program entails, and just how hard we're trying to, build that foundation, that springboard for success, and then finding them those proper outlets in the communities that they want to go to be able to, one, learn how to ask for help, knowing they can ask for help, not being embarrassed to ask for help, and now actually hooking up with people to who ask for help. So it really makes those big stretches and gains of this working. So once communities started seeing that, we now have like cities and towns coming to us and asking, how do I get a village in my community? Well, it all starts with, it takes a village to have a village, right? So it starts with the fundraising, it starts with the land, it starts with, I can't thank, the Brick Canada and the Brick Kingston enough. They furnished every one of our units, all 20 units.
Wow.
So you think about that donation, 21 units when we think about it, 20 units, and then the common room with a fridge, a couch, a stove, Canadian Tire for all the cleaning supplies to get us up and going. So each unit has the cleaning supplies to start. So we expect you to keep it clean. All that sort of stuff. You really start having some of those corporate sponsors come in and value it.
Corporate guys that usually we don't like.
Yep.
Shout out to them.
They step up, and you start taking off a lot of those big ticket items. Cogeco here in Kingston donating the internet and the TV services. So you really start hammering down some of those big ticket items.
Yeah,
you can make it work.
That's awesome. That's really awesome.
So if you have a community that's willing to step up, and you have some of these corporate sponsors ready to step up, and you just have the local community people wanting to step up and just wanting something to make it work, well, that's where it starts.
I'll keep an eye on where they're going to be in London.
Just down from the Veterans Hospital.
On Wellington there.
Yeah, just down in that area.
A huge chunk of land there. There's a huge chunk of land around the Veterans Hospital, actually. Parkwood, I think it's called. Parkwood Hospital.
Yeah, so that's how it kind of gets started. And, the momentum starts to swing. You start getting a lot of people on board, and they see a need of it in their community, and it just takes off from there.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Rebecca, thanks for coming along. Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. I was reading Holy Skunk. Sorry, Holy Skunk. It's just, the stuff she's commenting on isn't stuff that's fitting in with the interview. So anyways, I'll talk to you off air about that Holy Skunk one time. But yeah, the one in London. So do they kind of do it like Habitat for Humanity? Everyone chips in where they can. Will the builds going on, or do they come built?
So it changes for every village. With every village, we learn and we grow, right? Not just our villagers, but us as a foundation as well. So I know the ones in Kingston, they were actually prefab made in a factory as the work was being done on the ground here in Kingston. So when all the work and the plumbing and everything was done on the foundation side of things, they trucked these down and then installed them for us. So, and I know the one in Winnipeg, they are actually building on site. So it kind of changes back and forth.
Well, there's two things about that. Oh, hi, Mike Ball. Thanks for joining us tonight, bro. Another one of another one of the biker news YouTube guys, Mike Ball, Insane Wheels. If you ever think of it. So I was thinking about it. Like one thing, it could be good to get the men and ladies out there with a hammer in their hand and building something that's permanent that they can look back 10 years and say, I helped with that.
It's all just, it comes down to the community and what support's there, to be quite honest with you. And that's something that's, it takes a village. I know I've said that a few times, but it truly does. We couldn't do what we do without all the support of the community that our village is in and the surrounding communities that help us. Like I said, Perth, really at last Christmas, and the Commandos, they're an hour away from Kingston, and yet they're still, they're supporting our village. They see the need. They see they want that. They want that village to succeed, and it's all the communities around us, not just the city of Kingston. All those communities around us all chipping in and seeing the value of having that village and the success that we're having.
I really want to see that village succeed too, because now you're the second person I've had up for an interview who's told me all about it, and I'm kind of proud of you guys for doing it.
Well, thank you.
I mean? Yeah, it's a big thing, man, and getting people 100%. Off the street is a big thing in itself. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing 100%. It's amazing, really is.
Yeah. And then you guys up in Perth that just came out of the blue and just decided, let's do this, and found a way to raise money and found worthy places for it to go. Like that's incredible too. You guys got to do a ton of work through the year. I know you do. I've helped events before. They're huge.
It's a lot of work, but it's also so very rewarding. It's an honor to be a part of this program. Every year when I see the banners go up, it brings a tear to my eye, because I know, not only what the sacrifices were made from those veterans, but also that we're going to be able to help a lot more by what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. And every year it's going to get a little bit better. So Rebecca's in the chat. Rebecca, you will be interested in this one. So there's a big fundraiser coming up in a town in Ontario called Perth, and they put up all these banners and they look beautiful. I'll see if I can get one back on the other screen, with different veterans, and raise some money and stuff for it. And the motorcycles come by and do a ride by of where these veterans happen to live. And they have this, and there it is. They have this out where you live in Alberta. They have one in, where's it? Sorry, go ahead. You tell us where it is.
Where our villages are?
Yeah.
So we have, our first one was built in Calgary. Our second one was built in Edmonton. And now we have one in Kingston. And we're currently building one in Winnipeg and London, Ontario as well, that we should be open about midsummer next year.
And there's what the banners look like. They put them off the street posts, and they have a different veteran. And now that Perth has been doing it for a while, and now there's other towns around Ontario that are going to start their own version of it. But the big part is, I love these banners. I think they look phenomenal. It's a lot of. I think it shows a lot of respect for the veterans.
100%. I saw somebody had commented that they had just started one in Cobden.
Yeah, where is that?
So I'm
Where's
not exact. Well, it's Ontario for sure. It's not nearby. We'll have to add it to our little route when we go for a ride.
I wonder. He didn't misspell Colburn by chance, did he?
Well, I'm not sure. I was small on my phone screen, but I thought it said Cobden. I could be wrong.
Arthur, if you're still watching, did you misspell it or is
Oh,
Cobden?
there it is.
Yeah, it's
Cobden. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, we always look at the maps and we'll find out.
Cobden. I think it's about an hour from us.
Oh, there you go. So yeah, and so this is what it's all about, Rebecca. If you know any vets in Alberta that are homeless, you can kind of, a place you can set them in the right direction.
And Cobden.
Oh, Cobden.
Let's see. Sounds fun, hammer and nails. Yeah, that's what I say, skunk. It's to some people it might help them, and it might
So
help.
just to jump in, Cobden is in the Whitewater region. It's about an hour from here, from Perth, anyways. And apparently they're along Highway 17.
So you can do it.
There you go.
Oh, Rebecca loves Perth. Oh, you've been to Perth. I thought you were out west. I think she's out west. Oh, we got
Our 3 villages will take veterans from across the country. I've had one that came from Newfoundland. It's just a matter of finding the funds and working out the details and getting them to our village. So we are coast to coast. We're not just necessarily in our communities or in the provinces we're located in. We will help anyone from coast to coast.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
male and female.
That's amazing. I got to say thank you so much to Bob and Travis for doing this tonight. I think it's really great to just chat about it, let people know what's happening, and say everybody's welcome. And like I say, you don't have to be a veteran to ride in the parade. You just have to have a bike with 2 or 3 wheels, and just show up in Perth, and we'll find a spot for you to follow the headlights or follow the taillights in front of you there. And do the route with us.
Very cool. Yes. So when's the parade again?
September the 27th. And we meet up at 1:00 and kickstands are up at 2.
Okay. I love it. I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a fabulous turnout.
Thanks so much again, Bob.
Thanks for having us on. Really appreciate it and look forward to seeing you.
Thank you as well, Travis. And congratulations, you guys, on everything that you do. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Proud. Good night, guys.
Take care, everyone. Stay safe.
Bye. All right, everyone. That was a good interview. I really like that. So, Travis, wow, and I got an itchy chin today. Yeah, so that was a cool one up there in Perth, Ontario. I'm sorry about that, Rebecca. It's Barbie that's from out west, who's always in the chats. Yep, and we looked it up, Arthur. Thank you for bringing that, man. And they're going to add that to the route. So they do a fall color route. So they're going to add that down to it. Thank you, Jeremy, for coming and watching. Oh, and the Cobden Legion is hosting a ride on October 4. If somebody can get that to me, I'll make sure I get that in a video for that week's events. And that's it. That's what I got for today. I really, really appreciate you guys coming on in and checking out and getting in the chat. It means the world to me. Hit the like button on the way out if you haven't already. And I'll be back. I love you guys. I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to talk about all the biker events that I know that are happening across our fabulous country for this weekend. Lots of stuff coming your way. Until then, keep it on too, and much love and always respect.